Hey, it's great to have you along with us this morning. Right now, 5:37 a.m., and it's a clear start to the day today, but we do have some action moving into our backyard, and this is a little clipper that's going to pass by. You can see the moisture really moving up to the north of us at this point. We are into some showers across the Bruce Peninsula, but we are dry within the Golden Horseshoe, but that's going to change as we go throughout the day today. We really are waiting between that 3 and 6 p.m. hour. That's when the showers are going to start to build in. So as we look at your forecast here, hour by hour, for places like Toronto, Hamilton, London, Kingston, you can see we are staying dry as we go throughout the morning hours. Toronto warming up to about 7 today for the daytime high. That's seasonal for us. That's where we should be. Ottawa, Kingston, off to our east, you can see a little cooler as they start off the day. As we get into the evening here, 7 for Toronto. Feels a little more like 3. It's the southerly wind that does keep us mild, and with all this moisture moving in, no, we're not going to be tracking snow with this across southern Ontario. It's a rain event for us, and it really is later on in the day. Timing wise, we forecasted it a little bit earlier yesterday to come in more around lunchtime. Now we're thinking closer to that rush hour drive home. That's when the rain will begin. About 5 millimeters for Toronto. Heavier amounts up towards Cottage Country and north, 20 to 30 around Sudbury, north of Parry Sound here, and even north of that. That's how far you have to go up towards, let's say, north of the Nickel Belt, closer to Timmins, Chapleau. That's where you have to be in order to see some snow and some mixing with this system. So much of southern Ontario feeling the mild air. Thursday afternoon, we are 6 in Toronto, 3 in Barrie. The difference between today and tomorrow is tomorrow we have falling temperatures. Today, it's a southerly flow bringing up the temperatures. Tomorrow, the daytime high should happen in the morning and then fall as we go into the afternoon. And that means any residual moisture that's still hanging around with the system that comes in today, well, that's where we could see some mixing, especially up to places like Barrie, Collingwood, Orangeville, higher elevations. That's where it's more likely. And then into the weekend, everybody's going to get a little bit of rain and a little bit of snow. This is a bigger system that's moving by. It is rain on Saturday, snow as we head into Sunday. And here's some of the temperatures: 9 in Toronto, 10 in Hamilton, and then what a change going into Sunday. Just 1 in Barrie and Newmarket with some snow. Now tonight, do you have any plans? It's raining. Good night to watch some TV, right? It's 5:46 a.m. and it's great to have you along with us here on the Weather Network. We are tracking a system today called an Alberta Clipper. This is moving into southern Ontario, and it's likely to bring us some rain. Snow north of the Nickel Belt. So you have to go pretty north in Ontario to get some snow today. The milder air, of course, the reason for this, and you can see the rain is just pushing across the Bruce Peninsula this morning. We'll tell you when these showers should reach the Greater Toronto region, but first, Alberta Clipper is going to be a word we're going to say a lot this winter. So let's get you the science behind the weather. And you know, we've been seeing so much action along the west coast of BC, so all that moisture building up over the Rockies, and yes, an Alberta Clipper is formed. Now with this one, the air is quite mild, so we are not going to be seeing any snow with this as we look at the rain that's likely to fall today. But in behind it, Chris was mentioning there, it can form the lake effect snow, and it is possible into Thursday morning we could see just a touch of that into places like Collingwood, Barrie, for example, higher elevations, Dundalk Highlands, Orangeville. So for us in the GTA, Golden Horseshoe, what you need to know is tonight we're getting into the rain. So we're thinking about 3 to 6 p.m. That's when it starts. Rains through rush hour, rains throughout this evening as well. And with this system, we're talking about 5 millimeters of rain. Now you can see into tomorrow morning, there's still some moisture left in the atmosphere here. We're still mild into tomorrow morning, but with the northwesterly wind that's setting up in behind it, temperatures will be falling throughout the day on Thursday. So places like Barrie, that's where you could be getting into some mixing really late morning on Thursday. Temperature-wise here this afternoon, we're 6 in Barrie, 8 in Toronto. Notice the showers hit places like London, Barrie, Huntsville, Cottage Country first, then move into the GTA. So again, that 3 to 6 p.m. time frame, that's what we're going to be watching for our rain today. Overnight tonight, the rain continues, about 5 millimeters on the way for us. And remember, we're watching for those temperatures dropping as we go into Thursday morning. I do want to take you out onto the roads right now because everything you need to know about the weather going into the weekend, that is just ahead. But first up, I want to get you through today because today we are mild. We're seeing rain as this clipper comes in. Southerly flow for us, so we're about 7 to 8 degrees, the daytime high across southern Ontario. Now, the timing of this rain, we're thinking this should be moving in around 3 to 6 p.m. tonight. Showers move in across southern Ontario. To get snow with this, you have to go well to the north of the Nickel Belt here. Even Timmins, the potential for some mixing. Geraldton, Thunder Bay, yeah, it's way north of Toronto. That's where we're talking snow. So you can see the mild air, it certainly has affected affected a lot of people. Now into tomorrow morning with still a little bit of moisture in our atmosphere. The northerly wind comes back. Temperatures actually falling through Thursday. And that's where into tomorrow morning, even into the late morning, we could be seeing the potential for a bit of mixing and snow. Places like Barrie, Orangeville, Dundalk Highlands, maybe even Collingwood as well. I know Blue Mountain certainly will be happy about that. We're going to clear all this out of the way into Thursday, and then temperatures are dropping. We're seeing a falling daytime high for Thursday. So today we're mild, 8 degrees in Toronto. Remember, those showers move in for Toronto about 3 to 6 p.m. We got about 5 millimeters on the way for us. So not a big rain, but send the kids to school with the umbrella, maybe some waterproof shoes as they're walking home. Some showers could start, especially if you live west of Toronto out towards Kitchener and Guelph. And then Thursday afternoon, we are 3 degrees in Barrie, potential for some flurries, Newmarket, Guelph, Kitchener, Barrie, Toronto. Looks like we could see a little bit of residual moisture in the atmosphere for us. All right, let's get into the weekend now. Emily has the Long Ranger. It's great to have you along with us today. Right now, 6:06 a.m. It's a clear start to the day across southern Ontario. But I quickly just want to show you this traffic shot before we get into our weather report here. 401 westbound. It's usually smooth at this hour, 6:06 in the morning. But right now, as you're traveling through Avenue, we are looking at a big crash here. So the delays are really starting to build up. So, of course, we'll keep you updated on when that officially clears. Now, in terms of our developing stories, rain moves in late afternoon and into the evening. So we're going to time this out for you coming up. Falling temperatures as we end off the week. Big drop here, and then the weekend storm. It moves in. Rain and snow. We'll tell you what days you'll be seeing what type of precipitation and how this may be affecting some Santa Claus parades. That's for sure. Now, as we focus in on today, rain moves in about 3 to 6 p.m. and that's going to drop about 5 millimeters of rain across the GTA. A little heavier along the Huron shores. The winds will also be very strong today. We got that southerly wind, and we could be seeing some gusts about 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. So yes, it's going to be warm, but it's also going to be breezy. This here is the system that's moving in. You can see the warm front ahead of it. Showers right now across the Bruce Peninsula, and then slowly moving into the GTA today. The timing on this is a little bit slower than what we had originally thought. This clears out of here throughout the day on Thursday, but Thursday morning with a little bit of residual moisture, it looks like we could even see some mixing into places like Barrie, some spotty showers for Toronto, and then temperatures will fall throughout the day. So we're 8 degrees this afternoon. Showers move in again closer to rush hour. 7 as we go into the evening, and then tomorrow that daytime high really happens in the morning hours and then falls throughout the day on Thursday. As we take you into Thursday afternoon, 6. That's it for Toronto. 4 in Newmarket with some mixing. Now, as we start to talk more about mixing and getting ready for winter, what is left on your list to do? What's the most important thing to get done before winter is officially here? Here's what you had to say. We took the question to the streets. Christmas shopping and the snow tires. I like it. 2 things that I actually did over the weekend as well. Now, are you ready for winter? Have you done all of those things? Gotten the lawn ready? Your winter tires on? We are ready for winter, and we want to get you up to speed as well. And that's why we are releasing our winter forecast next Monday here on the Weather Network. And at night, if you're online on social media, I'm actually going to be hosting the Aftercast as well, where we can talk about the winter forecast, and you can ask us any questions that you may have about the upcoming season. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about winter and the lack of sunlight, the lack of vitamin D, and what you can do to get more. That's next. It's November the 15th, halfway through the month already, and of course many of us are starting to think about winter. So that's my first question for you. Are you winter ready? Next Monday, we are sharing our forecast, what we are expecting for this upcoming winter season. The cold, the snow, everything that affects us in the winter time, right? You can join us on the Weather Network. It's an all-day event. That's next Monday. All right, let's get you your forecast for today. A good morning to you. It is Wednesday today, and we do have this clipper coming through, an Alberta Clipper. There's been a lot of energy on the BC coast, so it spawned this low, sent it our way, and we are warm enough today to see straight rain across the Golden Horseshoe. That is it for us. No one shoveling today. We are looking at the rain moving in about 3 to 6 p.m., and then in behind it, the colder air starts to filter in. Temperatures will be dropping tomorrow, and into tomorrow morning, while we still have a bit of moisture in the atmosphere, places like Barrie, Dundalk Highlands, North Caledon, Brampton, looks like you could be seeing a little bit of mixing. Well, we're going to put you in that category too. This afternoon, we're 6 degrees in Barrie, 8 in Toronto. Showers really moving in for the rush hour portion of the day in Toronto, continuing to move further to the east. And then we take you to Thursday morning. We're 5 in Toronto, 4 in Barrie. Temperatures falling as we go throughout the day. As we take you into Thursday, 6 in Toronto, that's a daytime high. And I know these icons are looking a little wet here. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of moisture throughout the day as we go into tomorrow, but looks like maybe for the morning hours. That's where that mixing comes into play. All right, I want to talk about the sunshine now. We haven't seen this really, I think, in over a week now. We have been lacking the natural vitamin D across southern Ontario. Here's how you can get more this winter season. We have naturopath Dr. Justin Gallant with us. And Justin, you've noticed this lack of vitamin D. Why is that?
One of the reasons was because in Canada, for 2 out of the 12 months, we actually get proper sun exposure. But as it gets darker and darker into the fall, we're not getting enough sun exposure to create vitamin D. Some of the main symptoms of a vitamin D deficiency is one of the most common seasonal affective disorder, which is feeling a low mood or depression in the winter months. A general feeling of unwellness. You can get fatigue, your joints and muscles can feel kind of achy. And then the most important one is we can do a blood test to test your vitamin D levels to make sure that they're not too low.
So it's clear, many of us are lacking vitamin D. How can we get more?
One of the best ways to get more vitamin D is through a vitamin D3 liquid supplement right on the tongue. Another great way is to go on a vacation to a nice sunny spot.
So this winter, you just got a prescription to go on vacation. This has been Health and Weather. I'm Rachel Schoutsen for the Weather Network. Well, good morning and happy Wednesday. It's great to have you along with us. We are 15 days into November, already halfway through the month. Kelly Sonnenberg here with us today. And Kelly, Christmas market in Toronto opens Friday.
And I have plans to go with my parents on Tuesday of next week already. I like to go a couple times. And you were talking about some Santa Claus parades going on this weekend?
Yes, there are a lot. If you have a Santa Claus parade within Southern Ontario on Saturday, think umbrella. If you have one on Sunday, think scarf, hats, mitts, gloves, and we're going to break down that whole forecast for you.
So, of course, our question of the days have really been all about the winter and getting ready for the season. We're going to release our winter forecast on Monday here at the Weather Network. But the question is, what's the most important thing to get done before winter? The winter tires, a new coat, new clothing. I always need an excuse for that.
Yep.
Christmas
always.
Lights up or other.
Always something to add to the closet, right? And here's what you had to say in Nova Scotia.
I think that we need basically an all of the above.
I think so.
Now let's send things over to Emily Vukovic. She has our question for today.
Emily, thanks for filling us in. And of course, I cannot wait for the winter forecast Monday. You got to watch.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got lots of kind of winter-like weather ahead of the release of our winter forecast, especially across eastern Canada. We're going to break down these systems because even in our weather briefing, it was a little bit confusing trying to keep an eye on which system is which. So we've got one moving across the Great Lakes today. This is bringing in rain across the south through the evening, overnight hours, and snow possible up towards the north. But then, Rachel, this continues to track east and kind of re-strengthens for Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, and then this is going to be a storm as we go in towards the end of this week. Now, we've seen a lot of moisture building up along the BC coast, so it's essentially sending system after system over towards us. So that's why we have another one already for Ontario as we go into the weekend. For places like Toronto, we're talking mild conditions on Saturday and then falling temperatures for Sunday.
And even the potential for thunderstorms Saturday afternoon, but on the northern edge of that system, a heavy swath of snow, 20 to 30 centimeters in the forecast. Here's a local forecast.
I've jumped to Ireland, and the true beauty is not only in the landscape, but also in their kitchens. The Belfast food tour is set to impress any foodie. Phil Irvine from Taste and Tour. Why is Belfast so delicious?
Well, not only does Northern Ireland and Belfast make fantastic produce, but we've also got amazing restaurants and bars to serve them. It's a winning combination.
Whiskey is such an important part of Ireland's history. We are here in the Friend at Hand, a Irish whiskey emporium, where we're going to be trying their very own whiskey, which is called Reconciliation. Absolutely delicious.
And now for an award-winning cocktail. Wow. What more can I ask for? The best Irish whiskey, handcrafted cuisine, and delicious local cheese. How about some music? Phil, you've convinced me. The food in Ireland is incredible, but it is the people that send it over the top. Thank you so much. I love Belfast.
My pleasure.
Good morning. Your weather wake up continues. News with Emily Vukovic and Rachel Schoutsen. Rachel, we're talking about the rain moving in today. I'm really hoping that my husband remembers to put rain boots on my kids because it's not going to start until later on this afternoon. It's not a morning story. So you're thinking, oh, running shoes will be fine. No, put rain boots on them because 3 to 6.
He's listening right now.
Ryan, put rain boots on the kids.
Yeah, we know. Earlier we were thinking that this rain would be with us closer to lunchtime. It's really started to slow down. And as we take a closer look here, you can see showers over top of the Bruce Peninsula. But other than that, we are not talking about much moisture. Looks like a couple flurries too just moved through Huntsville.
Yeah, it's cold enough to the north, that's for sure. And that's going to be kind of the trend as we get into this weekend storm. We'll talk about that. Daytime highs, not bad. We've got southwesterly winds for the most part. City of Toronto fluctuating 7-8 degrees, and through London 7, Ottawa, even Ottawa getting above the freezing mark, which is good.
Yeah, and the key here is dry right through to the afternoon. You really have to wait between 3 and 6 p.m. tonight. That's when those showers start to push in. This evening, 7 in Toronto. The winds will be very strong today as well. So those winds out of the south helping to warm us up, but I think the gusts could be closer to 50 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so if you haven't raked your leaves, they're now your neighbor's turn.
And if it's garbage day today, make sure, well, I don't know.
That's
how can
the
you
worst.
how can you actually avoid that on garbage day?
You can't.
I come home sometimes to my streets and it looks like a bomb has gone off on
You're
a
like,
windy
where's
day.
my recycling bin?
It's crazy. I don't know. I don't have any advice for you.
That's why you label it. That's it. That's my only advice. All right, rainfall amounts, we're looking at 20 to 30 millimeters up towards the Nickel Belt, but anything south of that, I mean, we're seeing little pockets of heavier moisture around London and in through Kitchener and Waterloo, but Toronto, 5 millimeters, so not incredibly heavy amounts of moisture. But if you haven't raked your leaves, they are going to be a wet, sloppy mess to clean up.
Yeah, what a mess. And as we get you into Thursday morning, what you need to know here is temperatures will peak in the morning and fall throughout the day. And with a little bit of moisture still left in the atmosphere here, we could get a bit of mixing. Places like Guelph, even Kitchener, Barrie, Collingwood, we're looking at you for that, and then generally clearing throughout the day on Thursday.
Well, look at the shift in the direction of the winds coming in from more of a northerly direction. So here's what Rachel was just mentioning. Huntsville through Barrie, that's kind of our pocket to see that mixed precipitation. Still too warm for the city of Toronto. Lingering showers, and then as we get closer to the weekend, well, things are still going to deteriorate.
Yes, we have this moving in for the weekend. Think wet on Saturday, snow and cold coming in for Sunday. It's a bit of a mix across southern Ontario.
Yeah, the Hamilton Santa Claus Parade is on Saturday, so umbrellas certainly needed. Rain boots if you're sitting on a float. Oof, it's not going to be pretty. And then Sunday, of course, that cool down for the Toronto Santa Claus Parade. Toque, mitts, gloves, the whole bit.
All right, now, tonight it's going to be raining, so it's a great night to be sitting on the couch and watching these guys take on a volcano. They are heading to Vanuatu. That's Storm Hunters tonight here on the Weather Network at 9 p.m. Right now, though, your local forecast.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network to help you plan your activities in the coming.
Well, good morning. It's great to have you along with us on this Wednesday. Right now, 6:46 a.m., and we do have showers moving into the picture for southern Ontario. You see the radar here. See all the green that's starting to pop up? We actually did see a little bit of snow track across Huntsville this morning as well. But this green here, that's the Alberta Clipper that's moving in. That's the showers that will be falling in Toronto and in the GTA about 3 to 6 p.m. That's when it's going to start today. Now, before we move forward, this is called an Alberta Clipper, and we are going to be seeing many Alberta Clippers this winter. You'll hear us talk about it quite a bit as well. So first up, here's the science behind what that means. There it is, the science behind the weather. And this Alberta Clipper moving in today brings us some rain about 3 to 6 p.m. No snow across the Golden Horseshoe with this. You have to go well up towards Timmins and Kapuskasing, Geraldton to get some snow with this system. Now, in behind it, the cooler air is going to filter in, and we will have a bit of moisture lingering in through Thursday morning. And that's where we could see some mixing in places like Guelph, Kitchener, Barrie, up towards the Blue Mountains. I know they need some snow in Collingwood, or they want some snow in Collingwood. And then Thursday, we are clearing out throughout the day. So temperature-wise today, southerly winds, it's mild, but very windy today. Gusts about 40, 50 kilometers an hour. And then as we take you into tomorrow and the overnight, temperatures are still staying warm. Tomorrow morning, the daytime high, you're going to see it in the morning hours and then falling as we go in through the afternoon. So it's a colder end to the week. In terms of the rainfall, about 5 millimeters for Toronto. To get some of those heavier pockets, it's really along the Huron shores and north of Cottage Country. And then Thursday morning here, you can see we're 4 degrees in Barrie with rain. Going into the afternoon, we're down to 3 with some mixing. So falling temperatures through the day and also holding on to just a bit of that moisture as we go throughout Thursday. All right, just want to show you the roads before we get to your local forecast now. This is a live look at the 401 through Kiel. It's Wednesday morning, a clear start to the day so far, but showers are moving into the picture. Rachel Schoutsen, Emily Vukovic here with you. And Emily, let's get into the radar this morning.
All right, well, here's the system. We've got it further off towards the west, down through the United States. Colorado low, it's going to be slinking its way in. And this fine line right here, there's our cold temperatures, Rachel. We're actually, as we zoom in, see a few isolated flurries through the Huntsville area, just moving out. Behind it, all rain. Temperatures are too warm.
And we are going to be feeling warm today. That warm-up continues for us, about 7-8 degrees a daytime high, strong southerly winds. That's why we are feeling on the mild side today. And with the rain, Emily, about 5 millimeters.
Yeah, really not a ton for us, but in the timing of this, it's really kind of 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you are heading home from school, think about the rain jacket, the rain boots for the kids, maybe not an umbrella, depending on how long they're outside. This evening, if you're heading out for dinner, 7 degrees, feeling closer to 3. Those southwesterly winds, they're going to be fairly gusty today. So if you haven't raked your leaves, well, they'll be your neighbor's problem now, so don't worry about it.
Good point. As we get you into Thursday morning, Thursday's going to be an interesting day. Today is all about the southerly wind, the strong southerly winds. Tomorrow is going to be about the northerly wind coming back and temperatures falling. So this is Thursday morning here. Look at Barrie, 4 degrees in the morning, but then we go into the afternoon and Barrie is down to about 3 with some mixing.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be what's on the backside of that. You know, the winds, they do everything. So if they're coming from the south, they warm us up. If they're coming in from the north, they cool us down. And that's really going to happen on the weekend as well, when we do have a system coming through, bringing us rain, wind, and a little bit of snow.
A little bit of snow. So this is the system here. If you have a Santa Claus parade, for example, on Saturday, it's going to feel like it's a different season compared to if you have one on Sunday.
Yeah, and if you're going to both, say you're going to the one in Hamilton on Saturday, umbrella. If you're going to the one in Toronto on Sunday, bring your toque.
Yes, this is the upper level low that's moving in. The colder air continues to essentially filter in right across southern Ontario, and that's when the lake effect also starts to set up.
All right, we've been talking about winter-like weather moving in through southern Ontario. Atlantic Canada also going to be feeling that cool down. We asked Atlantic Canadians how they feel about the winter forecast and what they're looking forward to.
Christmas shopping, snow tires.
You've started your Christmas shopping, haven't you?
I do. I have a little shelf in my closet hidden, and I have my small gifts there, like stocking gifts ready.
I have nothing. I have kids, and I have nothing. I haven't even thought, I wonder what my kids want for Christmas. Nothing. I've done nothing.
Okay, so tonight you can go Christmas shopping, and I'm going to sit on the couch and watch these guys. The Storm Hunters, they are on the Weather Network tonight. They are going into a volcano in Vanuatu.
The crater actually is the same size that could potentially fit one of the world's tallest buildings.
Wow.
George was mentioning, and I'm just going to throw out a teaser here, he said that less people have been to where him and Mark were than on the moon.
And you can see it tonight here on the Weather Network. That episode airs at 9 p.m. Right now, though, you're local.
At the Weather Network, we're passionate about the weather.
From local forecasts to storms to all of Mother Nature's beauty from coast to coast.
We share it all with you to help you plan your day, to keep you and your family safe, and to be as amazed as we are with Canada's diversity.
Our television license is now up for renewal with the CRTC.
We want to continue to bring you the high-quality programming you've come to expect from us.
From educational and informative reports on climate change to Canada's North, from reports to your community.
We will also continue to fund emergency alerting services for Canadians, which bring to you Amber Alerts, weather warnings, and other public safety messages.
But we can't keep doing this without your support. To remain affordable for all Canadians, the Weather Network needs to remain on your basic cable.
Please support our license renewal. Visit support.theweathernetwork.com to learn how.
A very good morning to you, and thanks so much for tuning into the Weather Network. I'm Rachel Schoutsen alongside Kelly Schonenberg. Kelly, good to have you here with us today.
Yeah, Rachel, we've got a lot to talk about, and that's what I like to do, talk about weather. So I feel like it's a good day to be filling in on the morning show. Now, we're going to get to your weather stories. But first, Rachel, kind of the theme this week is the winter. And the question of the day on Twitter yesterday, what's the most important thing to get done before winter?
You know, for me, it is definitely the winter tires. What did you vote for?
I would say probably all of the above. I usually do with these things. If I had a house, I live in a condo, I'd say Christmas lights for sure. I know my parents were. I was taking a look at the forecast. There was 1 mild day. I said, get them up there.
Yeah.
But let's send things over to Nathan Coleman. He found out what you guys were saying.
That is a lady who has her priorities straight. Christmas shopping, #1 on the list.
And I know you're like that too. You already have your decorations.
I have the same vibe as her. Now I want to ask you today, what is your favorite outdoor activity in the winter? And Kelly, you know what? For me, it is a nice fresh snow, walk in the snow. But I also enjoy, this is a weird one I think, I also enjoy shoveling.
You do?
I actually do.
Do you count it as a workout?
I think it's a good workout.
Yeah, it
you
is.
sweat, you're outdoors, it's not too hot.
Feels like you're getting something done.
Yeah.
It's an accomplishment of the day.
Yeah, you know what?
Agree.
So I actually kind of like shoveling.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
like
there
it.
we go. That's going to be other. You tell us, let you know if you enjoy shoveling too. You don't have that big of a driveway, though. I do know that.
I know,
Maybe
it's a
people
small
with the double driveways. Well, we don't have a lot of snow to talk about across Atlantic Canada for today. We've got a system moving in. Some snow is starting to spread across northern Ontario, but Rachel, this rain is really going to start to move into southern Ontario and then eventually make its way into Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, and this is going to be a good system for Atlantic Canada by the time we end off this week. Now, Kelly, what do you think the potential of this bringing some snow is?
Possible for northern portions of New Brunswick, definitely the Gas Bay once you get into those higher elevations. And then as the system tracks a little bit further east into Friday night and Saturday morning, Rachel, I think western Newfoundland, and again, because those are the higher elevations portions of the island, snow is possible. This energy, though, really all coming from an upper level low. That's going to continue to track further east. We're watching it right now, but it's also going to be bringing in some strong winds.
Yeah, and the winds today across southern Ontario, they certainly will be breezy, and we're going to feel this windy pattern really as we continue right through the weekend. And this time of year, the direction of the wind is huge. Southerly flow, you're nice and warm. Northerly flow, especially in the Great Lakes, that northwest, that's when the lake effect can start up.
That's what we're going to be looking at ahead. We've got rain ahead with our system. Upper level low watching for the weekend for the Great Lakes. And Rachel, this is where that lake effect snow comes into play.
Yeah, so it's basically going to be warm with the southerly wind on Saturday, much cooler on Sunday. And you can see that drop in temperature from Saturday into Sunday right now in your local forecast.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday. It is November the 15th. Rachel Schoutsen, Emily Vukovic joining you. We're talking about rain moving in throughout the city of Toronto today and a very wintry brush to the weekend.
Yes, it really depends what direction the wind is coming from in terms of the temperatures this time of year. Huge differences, and we'll explain that. Rain moves in late afternoon into the evening for us. Southerly wind today, so it's all rain. No one's shoveling out today.
Except for to the north. And if, you know, traveling up towards Sudbury or, say, North Bay, yes, you could be dealing with some snow. But for us, yes, it's a rain story. So taking a look at some of the, do we have the radar? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, yeah, let's go to the radar here. Yeah, let's go to the radar.
Here we go. Taking a look at this rain, here it is to the west of us. It is going to be moving in later on this afternoon. So you probably won't need your umbrella this morning, but if you're planning on being late at work, anywhere between kind of 3 and 6, you'll need it this afternoon.
You will, and we've seen just a little bit of snow, some light flurries this morning throughout Huntsville. But within southern Ontario, just want to show you outside right now. This is a live look at the 427.
About 5 millimeters of rain with this next system coming in for the city. We could see little pockets of heavier rain, London up through Kincardine and mostly up towards the north.
And as we get into this evening, that's when the rain will be steady throughout southern Ontario, about 7 degrees, warming conditions really into the morning and then falling throughout the day on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be interesting. I like this graphic here, Emily. Barrie, 4 degrees into Thursday morning. We take you, Barrie, into the afternoon down to 3 with the potential for some mixing. So it's the cooler air that's coming in.
It all has to do with the winds. Southerly wind versus that northwesterly wind, and that's what's going to be happening behind that cold front. And that sets us up for the system that we're going to be dealing with this weekend as well. Come Saturday, Santa Claus parades anywhere through Hamilton. I think Milton's is also on Saturday.
Yes.
Umbrella, you'll need it because it is going to be a bit of a soggy one.
If your Santa Claus parade is on Sunday, the big one in Toronto, you have much more of a wintry feel. And that's because this upper low is coming into play, dragging in some of that colder air in behind it. And we even have the potential of getting into some lake effect snow throughout the day on Sunday as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Santa would mind a little bit of snow.
I don't think so.
What
It's
do you
going to set the stage, set the theme, right? On Saturday here.
Ooh, wet in Oakville. 10 degrees though. That's that southwesterly wind. And then Oshawa getting up to 8 degrees. Newmarket 8. And then Sunday a huge dramatic change in temperatures. Only 2 through Markham. Newmarket 1. There's that little bit of snow. So there's Santa being happy on Sunday for the Santa Claus parade. Because Santa's all dressed for it, right?
He will be. Yeah, Santa's not going to be cold at all. But maybe you sitting in the stands eating cotton candy. People eat cotton candy at Santa Claus parades, right?
I would eat cotton candy at a Santa Claus parade.
I think I would too. Yeah. We're going to watch out for some snow though developing as we go into Sunday here. And when we come back, Force of Nature is just around the corner. We've seen tons of action along the west coast. A very good morning to you. It is 7:46 a.m. You're watching the Weather Network. We have mainly gray skies over top of the city. A few peaks of sunshine out there. Here's your live look at the Gardiner this morning. Eastbound traffic into the downtown. Gardiner, Lakeshore busy, even westbound here as you round the Humber. It's been a slow morning out there. No major problems to pass along, but just rush hour within the GTA. It's good to see you. Great to have you here as we explain the rain that's moving in. We do have rain this morning across the Bruce Peninsula, but we are dry here within southern Ontario. But eventually these showers will be coming into our backyard, and it's all due to this system, the Alberta Clipper. And we're going to be saying the word Alberta Clipper quite a lot this winter. Before we get further into this forecast, have a look at the science behind this Alberta Clipper. And why will it induce lake effect snow? Well, that's because as it exits in behind it, that northwesterly flow sets up. And of course, if the Great Lakes are not fully ice covered, which we've seen many years, they are wide open, then yeah, we get that lake effect snow. Right now, though, we're not talking lake effect snow. It is just rain across southern Ontario. That rain is going to start around 3 to 6 p.m. tonight, let's say into the evening hours, continue on overnight, and then into tomorrow morning. A little bit of moisture still lingering across the south here, and we are seeing temperatures fall as we go throughout the day on Thursday. So that means places like Barrie, Guelph, maybe even Kitchener, you could see a bit of mixing just with some of this little bit of rain in the atmosphere, unfortunately becoming cool enough to see some snow, some mixing, some flurries there. This afternoon, no snow in Barrie at all. We're 7 degrees. It's the southerly flow today. Very windy conditions. Gusts about 40, 50 kilometers an hour today out of the south. And this time of year, the direction of the wind really makes a big difference. Overnight, we're down to about 4 in New Markham, 5 for Markham and Toronto, which is fairly mild for an overnight temperature now into mid-November. This is how much rain we're talking here. About 5 millimeters for Toronto, heavier amounts along the Huron shores. The winds will also be stronger along the Huron shores. And then as we take you into Thursday morning, 4 degrees in Barrie for the morning. Into the afternoon, Barrie's down to 3. So you can see how temperatures are dropping as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Remember, it's the southerly wind today, that northerly flow as we get into tomorrow, and that means temperatures are dropping as we end off the week. Now into the weekend. What does that forecast hold? Emily Vukovic is going to join us next. Your Long Ranger's coming up. Who's ready for this? See? And we see that today, and we're going to have another one coming into play for the weekend. And that weekend storm likely to bring some snow. And Emily's going to explain when we'll be seeing the snow that's coming up in your Long Ranger. For today, though, grab the umbrella because showers are moving in. Mild air for many of us across Ontario. So this means rain with the system right across the Golden Horseshoe. About 3 to 6 p.m., that's when the showers are moving in for Toronto. And then into tomorrow morning, colder air continues to push in. We got southerly flow today, northerly flow tomorrow. So the daytime high tomorrow will actually peak in the morning and then fall as we go into the afternoon. And that could create the potential for some flurries. Barrie, Newmarket, Orangeville, Guelph, we're looking at you for that. This afternoon, we're 6 degrees in Barrie with some showers. Toronto at 8. Rain moves in again around 3 to 6 p.m. into the afternoon and evening. So kids, as you're walking home, especially if you're west of Toronto, looks like you could be seeing that rain first. So Kitchener, Guelph. Think about some waterproof shoes as you walk home. About 5 millimeters of rain on the way. And then as we look at Thursday here, 6 in Toronto, but temperatures falling as we go throughout the day and the potential for some mixing up to Mount Forest, Guelph, and Barrie. All right, Emily, the weekend storm, it's coming in. You've got to explain it right here. A very good morning to you, and already halfway through November.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible, and that means our winter forecast next Monday.
Oh yeah, we've got the all-day event. It's premiering on Monday. It is going to be full of tons of amazing information. We've got lots of snow in the forecast for this weekend for some. We've got lots of rain in the forecast this weekend for some. Today, we even have some rain moving in.
We do, and I want to take you to the radar here and show you, or not the radar actually, the amount of rain that we're tracking. 5 millimeters generally across the GTA, but the timing on this is going to be key. This morning, the rush hour drive, we've seen a few peaks of sun. The sun was trying really hard to come out. It wasn't a sunny morning by any means, but it's going to be dry through the morning, dry through the afternoon. About 3 to 6 p.m., that's when the rain's going to move in.
Yeah, so rain boots for the kids heading home from school. They may not need them on the way too. We do have temperatures that are going to be fluctuating on and off depending on where you are on what side of this cold front. So we've got the system coming in, and the head of it, it's going to be all rain. But behind it, you can see the wraparound, these northwesterly winds. winds. They're going to be coming in behind it, giving us a dramatic cool down through the overnight, and areas just north of the city seeing a little bit of mixing.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting because the warmest part of Thursday is actually going to happen through the overnight and into the early morning hours. Then temperatures falling throughout the day. So this afternoon, for example, we're 8 degrees in Toronto. Looks like Toronto's almost in like a little umbrella, like a bubble, right? We got the sunshine, everybody else has the rain. What's going on there? That's just because the way the front is moving in.
Our bubble.
Yeah, the weather bubble of Toronto.
Yeah.
So throughout the afternoon, Toronto should be dry, but again, into the evening hours, that's when the rain pushes in.
All right, so 7 degrees, feeling more like 3. Those southwesterly winds at about 30 kilometers an hour, and then they're going to shift direction. A huge contrast in terms of our temperature. Thursday morning, you can see temperatures are actually going to be milder in the morning than they are going to be in the afternoon because of that cold front. Newmarket, we could see a little bit of mixing by the afternoon, 4 degrees.
All right, we've been talking more about mixing and snow and cold, lake effects, so many things that come into play when we talk winter, right? So this was the question that we had. The most important thing to get done before winter. What are you voting for? The winter tires.
I pick A every time.
And have
well,
you
no,
booked
when
your
in doubt,
appointment?
pick C. But of course, I haven't booked my appointment. What, do I look organized? Do I look organized? Get the Christmas lights up. I bet you've done that already, haven't you?
I'm slowly getting into the Christmas
She totally
shopping.
has.
You know what? We asked people in Nova Scotia what they need to do before winter starts. Have a listen.
Christmas shopping.
Priorities.
Sweet, right?
Priorities.
See, I was thinking you Christmas lights. Anyways, our winter forecast premieres here on the 20th. Are you winter ready? It's an all-day event. You do not want to miss it.
All right, and coming up next, the sunshine in the winter. It's hard to get sometimes, and that means for many of us, we are lacking vitamin D. Coming up in our next segment, we check in with the naturopath about the low levels and how you can get more. We've got a solution. That's next.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. Emily Vukovic and Rachel Schoutsen with you. We've got rain to talk about moving in through the GTA. We're flirting with a little bit of sunshine before then, though, Rachel.
I know, it's been nice. I actually ran over to the window. I'm like, oh, there it is, the natural vitamin D. You know, it's been quite a while since we've actually seen sunny skies across southern Ontario. So a little few peaks this morning. Enjoy it now because this is coming for us.
Yeah, we do have rain on the way in some areas. Snow in others. Huntsville, you saw a little light dusting. A little bit of mixing up in that region, but yes, this rain is going to start to move in through the GTA in between the hours of about 3 and 6 p.m. So if you are planning on heading out, bring rain gear.
Yeah, and the kids walking home from school, depending on where you live, if you're west of Toronto, you're likely to see that rain a little bit earlier than, let's say, east Toronto over towards Uxbridge, Pickering. So think rain as the kids are walking home for places like Kitchener. 5 millimeters on the way.
Yeah, not a ton of rain. Now this story gets interesting because once this rain moves out, on the back side of this, we could actually see a little bit of snow. We'll show you that in a sec. This evening we're looking at 7 degrees, feeling more like 3 with those southwest winds coming in at 27 kilometers an hour. So a fairly gusty evening as well.
Yeah, and the winds I think are going to be even stronger throughout the afternoon. We're looking at gusts around 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. So let's say you already did hang up the Christmas lights or the Christmas decorations. I think that Santa is going to be flying in the wind today.
You didn't bat him down, that's for sure. 5 degrees for the morning temperature throughout tomorrow morning. And then it gets interesting as we go further north. Temperatures are actually going to start to drop throughout the day because of that cold front. So that's where we could see a little bit of mixing transitioning into that precipitation.
So Barrie, 4 in the morning, 3 as we go into the afternoon, mixing for cottage country as well. Toronto should be staying warm enough on Thursday that we won't be seeing any snow in Toronto, but a little bit of lake effect as we go into the weekend looks like a greater potential for that.
Yeah, the setup is there. We've got the rain starting with those southwesterly winds. Cold front comes through Saturday overnight, wrap around. We start to see those northwesterly winds coming off of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. That's that fetch that we're going to be dealing with, and that's where we're going to see those heavier lake effect amounts.
And you know, quite often in the wintertime when we do see lows like this come by, it's warm to start, and then on the back end, that colder air filters down, and that really is the perfect setup for some lake effect. So I want to show you the difference here between Saturday.
Daytime high of 3 and Pickering, Markham, Newmarket, Santa Claus parades. Everybody can see a little bit of snow.
All right, the lake effect setting up could be lasting into Monday as well. So Emily, tonight's a rainy night.
Out of storm hunters, it is all about them hanging out.
Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's great to have you along with us. We are talking rain today. I know we saw a bit of sunshine this morning, which was excellent. Little few peaks of sunshine. I actually had to go stand by the window outside of the studio just to take that in. It's been a while since we've seen sunshine in Toronto. Today, though, less and less sunshine, more cloud cover comes in and rain. About 3 to 6 p.m., we are going to be tracking rain moving across the GTA. How much rain? When will it stop? When will snow come back into the picture? All of those questions we're going going to answer them on the morning show this morning. But first up, I want to talk about this system. It's called an Alberta Clipper. And throughout the season, we will say Alberta Clipper quite a bit. Here's what it means. And yes, as this Alberta Clipper moves throughout the day today, we are seeing warm conditions ahead of it, but in behind it, lake effect snow is possible for a few key areas. As we look at the rain today, about 5 millimeters on the way. Again, it all starts up about 3 to 6 p.m., so that rush hour drive home likely to be wet. The rain is with us through the overnight. Temperatures around 4 and 5 degrees through the overnight, which is pretty warm for mid-November. But look, the colder air wrapping around in behind it, and it does look like as we go throughout the morning, places like Barrie, even Guelph and Kitchener, higher elevation up towards Orangeville, you could be seeing a little bit of mixing with a touch of lake effect snow. This does clear out of here throughout the day on Thursday. So temperature-wise, in shoulder seasons, the temperature, the wind direction, of course, makes a huge difference in terms of what type of precipitation you will see. 8 degrees in Toronto today. This is showing you the mix of sun and cloud because the rain for Toronto moving in a little bit later, closer to that rush hour drive, moves in from the west to the east. So that's why we see all these rain icons here. Winds are up towards Barrie and Huntsville. Rain moves into Toronto though, rush hour drive home. Overnight, these are fairly warm conditions. Again, about 5 millimeters on the way for Toronto. Very gusty conditions as well. That southerly wind helps to keep us warm, but will be gusting close to 50 kilometers an hour. So it's a wind that you're going to feel. Now into tomorrow morning, 4 degrees in Barrie. We go into the afternoon, 3 with some mixing. Newmarket could even see some mixing as well. Cottage country too. So with the change in the wind direction, that north wind comes in, the cooler air, and we're only about 2 and 3 degrees for the daytime high on Friday. Into the weekend, we are tracking snow, and Emily's back just after this to explain when.